I just want to quickly start by saying, if you subscribe to this page, please head over to my channel and click this little bell icon, as you'll get notifications of when my videos go up, and it will really help me out. Hey, what is up, guys? It is a beautiful Sunday morning that I'm recording this, and I am stuck indoors. The sun is shining in through the window, and instead, I am in front of Rainbow Six. Why? Because Rainbow is life, as we all know. However, in today's video, we are going to be chatting about Kapkan, and how he's a bit lackluster, if I'm completely honest. Now, obviously, as time has gone on, we have seen a lot of changes to operators. Montagna's been buffed, Mute, Kapkan himself. Obviously, Blackbeard became Nerfbeard. Tachanka, as we all know, got a buff. There's a lot of people that have been adjusted and amended by the devs as time has gone on. Now, this normally occurs when an operator has a really low pick rate or is far too good. A perfect example was Blackbeard. He was picked for almost every game, so automatically he was seen to be overpowered. Thermite was picked for every single game, so automatically Hibana was introduced to mix that up. But the same applies for characters that aren't picked. When Tachanka was never ever picked on ranked and in the pro leagues, they looked at that and said there's obviously a reason for this. Well, there's other operators that aren't really picked, like Kapkan, for example. So I would love to see some changes to him. Now, if you've had this game for any length of time, you may well know that he has had changes in the past. When the game first came out, his trap had a great big red spike. I don't know if you remember that, but that stuck all the way through the door frame, and his red lasers were bright red. I mean, they stood out by a mile, and it took people all of about 2 weeks of having the game before no one died to Kapkan anymore. It got to a stage where he was just a redundant operator. And I can't remember exactly which patch it was, but it was the same time that Mute's jammers got an upgrade. But Kapkan got a massive buff in the form of the red spike being removed, so he instead just had the little black box that he places onto the door frame or the window frame. And his red laser also got changed, so it was a lot harder to see. Now, unfortunately, this buff again lasted all of about a week or two before people stopped dying to Kapkan traps. They knew what to look out for. And he's back to being the kind of character that is never ever picked, or very, very rarely. Certainly not in the higher diamond ranked games. I just don't see him there. I really don't. Now, for those of you that have been around long enough to have played this game since around about Christmas time last year, I think it was near the Black Ice update, in fact, when Frost and Buck first showed up, there was a glitch in which Kapkan could put his traps down in a certain way and the laser would be invisible. Now, at the time, the red spike was still there and it was still visible, and people were still getting caught out by it a hell of a lot. It wasn't to the extent that it was really frustrating, but you would see a lot more Kapkan kills because people didn't really spot the red laser. It wasn't there. Today, I want to propose a little bit of a dodgy idea, but what about removing Kapkan's laser completely? Now, before you start panicking and thinking, whoa, what the hell are you on about? This idea will solve so many people's issues. For so long, I've seen on the forum people complaining about zerging, even though it's a legitimate tactic, and complaining about loads of different other aspects of the game that they see to be too Call of Duty and not enough Siege. Well, if you have to stop and check door frames as you're pushing in, or as part of your droning you have to check door frames for Kapkan boxes, how is that a negative? With the recent change to the 3-minute timer on ranked, you will see a lot more deaths from Kapkan because people will have to push into rooms without the full knowledge. In the dying seconds of a game, when you've got the diffuser and you need to push in through that double door, let's hope you've checked it first. The iteration I'd really like to see is something that is no way ever going to happen, purely because of the fact of the way that the game is constructed, but I would love it if the lasers only showed up through smoke. Now, that would be smoke grenades, if you set off a breaching charge near it, even shooting walls sometimes produces little bits of smoke. Now, I'd love it if the game was to show you the thin laser. Kind of like if you had a laser pen and you spray aerosol on it, you can then see it. As I said, I don't think this is something that would ever be able to be implemented because of the way the game is made and the engine that it runs on, but it is something that I think would be really, really cool. The other difficulties that Kapkan faces is the fact that he's a pretty slow operator. Because he's a 3 armor and a 1 speed, he hasn't really got the opportunity to move all the way around the map. Now, as people are so used to Kapkan traps, you expect to see them on the objective. Certainly in low ranked games, that's pretty much what was always happening. As you get close to the objective, you know to check the door frames. So instead, it often pays to push out and try and put the traps elsewhere that you think the attackers might come into the building, or on random doorways that you don't even seal up. The ability to adjust the height of them as well means that people don't automatically check down by their feet. Sometimes they don't even notice the trap at head height. But this is a real rarity. If Kapkan was a bit faster, like a 2 speed and 2 armor, he might have the ability to get around the map a little bit more to place these traps during the setup phase. Now, obviously, you've got the option to move out during the action phase and then set them up where attackers aren't expecting them. And sometimes I'll even hold one in reserve, so if someone is pushing on me and I'm stuck in a corner, I can lock off one way, because I'm going to hear that trap go. Even if they're just shooting it out, you're going to hear it get taken out, so you can at least negate the need to look at one direction. You can look the other way instead. I would love to know what your thoughts are, though. I mean, as a community, do people think that Kapkan is already fine how he is? Or do you think there should be some minor adjustments made to him? What ideas have you got to buff Kapkan? Do you think removing the red laser is a good idea, or do you think it would just be far too overpowered and everyone would be dying every round? I'd love to hear your thoughts. As always, we are getting so close to our 10,000 sub goal, so thank you so much for all of your support. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up. If you don't already, hit that subscribe button for all things Rainbow Six. And until next time, guys, stay reckless and relentless.